When it comes to high performers, what traits have you noticed is common among them, both positive and negative?
Yeah. So I think I'll start with the negative. From the negative, usually high performers, I mean, they're highly driven people. They have this amazing and immense tenacity for things. They don't give up, right? They're interested in a lot of things. And that also means they have trouble turning it off too. And that doesn't just mean when they're with their family, but even when they're by themselves. So like things are not enough. They always want to go to the next level. They're always obsessing about what to do, what next, what business opportunity there may be. So they end up having lots of anxiety about things and lots of intrusive thoughts. So that's a trait on the negative side. But on the positive side, they don't rest. I mean, and I know there's a double side to that. They don't rest, and they have great opportunity radars.
Explain that.
An opportunity radar, and not a lot of people have it, but entrepreneurs do. Okay, they're always observant. They're always looking for a way to make money, or meaning they know how to find a niche. They see where there's a need, and then they quickly do research, find out how to fulfill that need. And then what differentiates them from other people, most people talk about, this is what I'm going to do. Oh yeah, I thought this great idea. They actually execute, okay? And it may not be a success, but they execute to see if it is a success. And if it's not, entrepreneurs are great about then moving on. They don't suffer so much from that sunk cost fallacy where, well, I've invested, I'm going to keep going. They also know when the opportunity is over. So, I mean, it's really, you talk to an entrepreneur, they've like done a bunch of different things. And those high performers, it doesn't matter if you're an athlete, okay? It means you're like if you're in football, I mean, you're, involved in lots of different things, and a huge team member, you're carrying on lots of roles. Or if you're in business, I mean, you kind of have that same, if you're working for a corporation, you're kind of the ideas guy, the visionary, making things happen.
One common trait, and I don't know, you probably know the actual percentage, but a lot of high performers also fall into narcissism. Is that actually, and again, this is just what I have heard, is that an actual correct statement?
I think one of the biggest reasons is a high performer, they got to believe in themselves when nobody else does. So other people would say that is narcissistic, or they're, being a narcissist. But you got to be able to believe in yourself when nobody else does. You're the one taking the risk. You're going for it. And you also, if you're so driven to be a high performer, you're a little selfish with your time and what you do. And other people might not appreciate that the same way. So, that can be viewed as being narcissistic.
Again, it is a common thrown around word.
Yeah. So
what can you say about true narcissists?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first, with narcissism, I mean, it's, it is thrown around so much. And if we're like looking at population prevalence, I mean, it's probably like up to like 5% of people are actually narcissists. I'm going to even go down to say like 1 to 3%, that have actual like true narcissism, severe, have severe narcissistic personality disorders. There's certainly a spectrum of how severe it will be, but it's rare to actually be a true narcissist. Okay. And what a real narcissist is, it's not just somebody that is self-centered, grandiose, is selfish and thinking about themselves, but they exploit people. That's kind of the dark side of narcissism. So not many people will actually exploit others.
Mm-hmm. So I'm currently reading Elon Musk's biography.
Okay.
They published it in 2023. I highly would recommend people to read it.
Okay.
One thing that is very, very apparent is obviously he is a very high performer, but he sacrifices his relationships. He obviously is very good in business, and he is terrible at relationships.
Sure.
Where is that created from? An individual that says, I'm going to chase after something to be a high performer and willing to sacrifice essentially everything else, and like the level to that. as well as, what is the biology behind someone that says, I want to chase chase something else, just chase maybe a calm life.
Yeah. So what is the biology? I don't think we've identified this. Of course, in pop psychology, we would call these people dopamine chasers. But I think it really comes down to, you have a certain capacity. You're born with a certain capacity to be able to handle complex things, right? And you're naturally a motivated person. You're naturally a driven person. But then as you're being nurtured and growing up, you're either without, and you're making the connection that I never am going to be without, okay? Or you are in a family that reinforces you when you are productive and you're in reaching high achievements. Then that kind of forms that personality that drives you or propels you. So it can come from like a very nurturing, reinforcing environment, or even a very neglectful and deficit full environment that both drive you to be motivated. But you got to have those genes, right? You got to naturally have genes. And the amazing thing is, because I even see lots of kids and young athletes and things, and some of these kids, like you can feel their motivation. Like there's nothing that you have to coach about them in terms of having that drive. People are greatly either born with it or not. So,
is there a happy medium to being able to chase success as well as have healthy relationships?
Yeah, there certainly is. You have to have the same tenacity that you have for business and performing as you do in your relationship. And you really need to have that same mindset. So, and I know that can sound foreign to some people when they're thinking, this is like a feeling thing, but you need to be as obsessed with your partner as you are with work.